Now to Mogadishu. Improvised explosive devices, or IEDs, have become the weapon of choice for Al-Shabaab rebels targeting soldiers and civilians alike. Reporter Jason Putinkin went on patrol with African Union soldiers as they struggle to counter the IED threat.
African Union soldiers patrol a village outside Mogadishu. They are sweeping for improvised explosive devices, IEDs, planted by Al-Shabaab insurgents. The goal is to find and defuse any bombs before they go off. The AU troops, called AMISOM, forced Al-Shabaab from most major towns during the past 5 years, but the rebels have regrouped. Using IEDs in ever larger attacks, they have managed to slow AMISOM's advance.
IEDs are the biggest threat in these counter-insurgency, counter-terrorism operations. Al-Shabaab has been able to leverage its expertise on IEDs to very, very devastating effect.
Civilians are targeted too. Blasts at these hotels in late August killed 22. 2016 is set to be the worst year yet for IED attacks in Somalia, with more than 225, according to the Sahan Research Group. The bombs are getting bigger too, up to 80 kilograms compared to 5 or 10 kilograms just a few years ago.
The use of IEDs has really evolved. IEDs are in different types. Trucks that are filled with explosives. They are pressure plate IEDs. There are also magnetic IEDs, IEDs that are remote control. And the combination of these really creates a lot of challenge.
IEDs are effective because they are easy to make. Cell phones trigger explosives made from fertilizer and old munitions. Ball bearings and nails maximize carnage. The only imports are blast caps and detonators smuggled from Yemen, according to AMISOM commanders and independent researchers.
They can place on a road, on the side of a road, and a vehicle. They are easily modified. They can easily be transported. They are easily connected. And the triggerman can easily hide. And that's why the IEDs they manufacture gives them a lot of flexibility.
AMISOM officials and independent observers say patrols and searches aren't enough in places like Mogadishu, where attacks are most frequent. Better intelligence is needed to break up the bomb-making groups.
Keeping an eye on where potential IED factories may be, keeping an eye on where the materials are coming from. You know, if certain materials which are known IED components are visible in high quantities or running through the hands of certain people, that kind of intelligence can start to dismantle an IED network.
For AMISOM soldiers on the front lines, reducing the IED threat cannot come soon enough. Jason Putinkin for VOA News, Mogadishu.
Well, citing security concerns, Kenya is planning to shut the Dadaab refugee camp by the end of the year. Now, the camp is home to some 300,000 people, mostly from Somalia. Kenya has agreed to voluntary repatriations, but the plan is hitting snags. Jill Craig reports.
Here at the Dadaab airstrip, passengers are leaving the only home some of them have known for decades.
If someone is complaining about you, you can't say, I have to stay in his house. So you have to decide to leave his house. So Kenya is now going to choose Dadaab, and we have to leave Dadaab.
Flights have been taking people to Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, but repatriations to the Jubaland region were canceled in August after authorities there said they couldn't handle the newcomers. And so some refugees bound for Jubaland are waiting in this transit camp. They say they have already sold or transferred their homes and belongings, and that camp officials have taken all their documents. So now they wait in limbo. Mahmoud Ali Abdi came to Dadaab when it opened in 1991, after he fled violence in Mogadishu.
There's no place to go back to in the camp. People have taken our houses. Since they've said that they cannot repatriate us, we would like to trek by foot to our country.
And some, like 24-year-old Mohammed Abdullahi Jamale, have never actually been to Somalia.
So I don't feel like the decision was nice to somebody like me who was born in the camps. And I don't feel like going. I want to stay here in Kenya. Even if we are forced, I want to die here, pretending to be a Kenyan.
Abdullahi Mohammed Aden went back to Somalia in May before deciding to return to Dadaab.
I went to Jubaland, where I'm from. It's not a place I can go now because it's under the control of militias. The place we went, there was no security, no health, no education, no water. It was a tough place. At night, armed men would come to you. They would tell you to give them what you have. We had to leave.
But the uncertainty over the camp's future is impacting even those who have decided to stay in Dadaab for now.
We do feel that our business is at risk. You cannot bring more goods. There is no one to buy since day after day the numbers are decreasing.
For these refugees, living in Dadaab has meant free education, free health care, and good security.
I'm not ready to go back to Somalia. I have children in school, but there are many people who are ready to go back to their country. And the repatriation that was stopped has become another problem for them.
But for those who decided to leave for Mogadishu, they've packed up their belongings, taken a $150 cash grant from UNHCR, and boarded their flight, unsure of what they will find when they land in Somalia. Jill Craig, VOA News, Dadaab, Kenya.
The U.S. Congressional Black Caucus represents African Americans in Congress working on relevant issues. At a recent forum in Washington, the focus of the caucus was reforming energy businesses, especially in Africa. Washington correspondent Mara Bird has more.
Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee did an energy brain trust of the Congressional Black Caucus. It is clear that energy is a major discussion not only in the U.S., but across the world.
When we think about the notion of even energy, for many folks there's a disconnect that it affects us every day. It's a part of our daily lives, it's a part of the fabric of who we are. If you think globally, there are certain parts of the world where infrastructure and development is lacking and it's not as easy to turn on a light switch, but the economy behind what we use in terms of energy is tremendous.
As a family, how do we work across this injustice divide? Because we have the global South in the North. This community owned themselves as slavery was still manifesting.
Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, co-chair for the U.S. Congressional Caucus on Africa, believes that discussions about energy should not only be a major topic for discussion in the U.S., but in Africa as well.
How crucial it is to spread the results of energy and power and light and technology across this booming African continent of more than 1 billion people.
The brain trust is critically important because these are discussions that we don't have enough right now. The energy field is open, wide open for minorities to participate in, but there are things that we have to understand. There are expectations within the industry. The solar industry, probably fastest growing market there is. There's plenty of job opportunities for engineers. There's plenty of job opportunities within the craft fields as well.
The need for improving access to and diversification in the providers of energy were two of the areas that the panelists of the Energy Brain Trust committed to being change agents to address. From Washington, Maria Bird, Channels Television News.
It's time now for another break, but before we go, a reminder to visit our website, channelstv.com, for all the latest information day or night. You can also find us on youtube.com/channelsweb. Still to come on Africa 54, fish stocks in Lake Victoria are under pressure from population growth in Uganda. Can a new project help turn the situation around? That story after the break.